Hello, Renee Flamand here. Today's topic is extremely vital that we wrap our head around, and I can't stress it enough. Because if you don't wrap your head around the truth of this concept, it will keep you in the thick of trying to deal with your narcissist. Let me explain what I mean. The narcissist does not have the capability to learn. They just don't. Some people just never learn. And this was a tough concept for me to grasp. Reason for that is because I knew they most likely didn't and don't understand or know about this disorder, but I thought for the longest time that if I just explained it to him, that he'd get it. If I just put it in the right words, he'd be able to change. He'd be different. He'd get help. He'd want help. That's the whole key, though. That is the whole key. They don't, they can't, they don't want to, and they don't think they need to. Our intentions to help when we're trying to converse and all of this, our hope to change them, to make them see the light, is the exact reason we are tempted to answer the Hoover, have one last chat, give them one more visit, give it another try. That is why it is so imperative that we fully grasp that it is an inability for them to improve in any way whatsoever. Inability, not capable. Let that sink in. Because when we are answering that Hoover or entertaining one last chat or one last visit, that's exactly what we have in mind. We're going to change them. We're going to make them see the light. We're going to make them want to be with us, to understand us, to see what they've done to us. I can't stress it enough. It is not possible for them to do any of those things. Nothing. And once you fully grasp the reality of their bleakness, it's bleak. Their whole future, their lives, the hope for them, it's all bleak. Once you fully grasp that, you will be that much less tempted to answer, to try, to hold out hope, which we all know by now is a very dangerous thing to hold on to when it comes to a narcissistic relationship, a relationship with a narcissist. You can try to reach them. You can try to appeal to the emotion, intellect, reason, but they truly don't have any of these sensibilities intact in order to be able to grasp the reality of their own situation. They imagine their own reality and they twist it to fit their narrative, the way they want to see themselves and the surrounding circumstances. That's why any times that you've ever had a conversation with a narcissist, you're pulling your hair out because their side is so twisted. You'll express to them something they did to you and they'll come up with some asinine reason. Well, you burnt the spaghetti. But, right? They have no concept of how life works, how people work, the inner workings of a brain, a heart, a mind. The truth is, they never take blame or accept any kind of real part in what happened. Not with you, not with a business partner of theirs, not with family members of theirs, not with a stranger in a store that they encounter that gets them angry. They take zero responsibility. Apologies are insincere if they even ever do come. And if you think about having a conversation with your narcissist or whoever's in your life that's a narcissist, when they have come up with an apology, it's always two-sided. Out of one side of their mouth, they'll say, I'm sorry, but then it's, but you did this. Well, we all know by now that's not a sincere apology. That's not how you apologize to people. That's not how you apologize to people. The truth is, they never, ever, ever, ever even fully understand what we're trying to tell them. Even if they fake that they're understanding. And they might go through the motions and nod and appease you for a minute. They might feign sympathy. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you. It doesn't take anything to say those words. They lie. Right out. And again, the reason it's so important to fully grasp this is because when you try to talk to them, I want you to pay attention to how they respond to you. If you were to do something wrong to somebody and they told you, say you didn't realize it, and they came to you and they told you, you'd react in horror. Your immediate reaction would be, at least mine would be, oh my God, I didn't even realize. Did my behavior come across that way? I'm so sorry. I hope you know I didn't mean it. Like, you can tell if somebody's lying to you. They don't feel that. They don't feel remorse or guilt or conscience or sorrow. It isn't horror with which they will greet your concern over their behavior. It's like defensive, combative. They're standing their ground. They're trying to prove a point or make a case as to why they did what they did. That isn't a good sign that you're going to reach these people. They are broken people. Broken. Damaged. Irreversibly damaged. Irreversibly damaged. No amount of love, understanding, or compassion will help them, let alone fix them. And that's the part that really gets me, is because when we keep going back in, be it taking the call, taking the visit, agreeing to one last try, that is essentially what we want. And you know, they know what they're doing. They just don't care. And I've told you that before. It sounds hopeless. Yes, it certainly does sound hopeless and sad. And it is. But you don't have to be in the world of hopeless and sad. Their world is hopeless and sad. Whether they're with you, whether they move on to the new person, or a new person after that. Their world is always hopeless and sad. I don't care if they look happy right now. Inside, they hate themselves. They hate their life. They're about to blow up whatever they're involved in. And whether it's a new marriage, a new baby, they're probably already cheating on the new supply with somebody newer. Because they'll never, ever, ever take any responsibility. And if they cheat on the new supply with newer, then they're saying to themselves, well, they did this. There's always an excuse. Yet still we hang in there. We persevere. And what we have to, I think, understand is this need to hang in there says more about us than it does about them. We are thinking of them in the same context as we think of ourselves or other non-disordered people we know who are incapable of improving something about themselves. Like in the example I just said. Think of a fight you've had with a non-disordered person or an argument you've had with a non-disordered person. Okay, a healthy argument. You can argue with people. We were all with family for the last 2 weeks. I'm sure somebody somewhere had not, but you can work it out. There's hope for them. They see eye to eye, oh, all right, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. Normal responses. These people have zero intention of taking any responsibility regardless of what they say to you. So when we're hanging in there, we're thinking of them as a normal human brain, a normal, healthy, functioning person's brain who can be reached, who can be reasoned with, who may finally understand, who you can get through to, who you can get through to. That's why this took me so long to understand this and grasp this concept. Because I kept thinking, oh, I got all the words now. I have all the explanations. I know all the reasons why. I'll make him see. I'll make him see. I'll make him see. Nothing ever will make them see. They don't want to see. They want the view of themselves that they have constructed. They want the grandiose view. They're entitled to anything they want on this earth, and they'll take it. They'll take it. And there's not going to be anything that you come up with. And I always thought, oh, this last time I'll get to him. This'll do it. And me, I'm typing, like, I'll type a novella in a text. He probably didn't even read them. And yet we think we might get through. Oh, this makes sense. He'll understand if I put it this way. Oh, if I explain to him this behavior, he's gotta respond. And that's what you think, right? You say, he's gotta respond, or she. We know your pronoun is your own, mine is he. He's gotta understand this. Who wouldn't understand this? A narcissist wouldn't understand it. You could lay it out so logically that you think a 3-year-old would understand it. Guess what? A non-disordered 3-year-old probably would understand it. A disordered 50-year-old will not ever understand anything you try or outline or do. And I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but it really helped me once I grasped fully that concept. I got to break away. Because then I realized it is hopeless. I hung in there because I really kept trying, and I thought, I'll get through. Because as you can probably surmise, and I've told you before, I'll talk to death. I couldn't make him understand one lick of himself. Not one lick of his personality. Not one tiny anything. Nothing. No reaction. They stick their feet in that cement and they will not budge. They have their belief system about themselves. They have the narrative that they've created in their brain about themselves, which oftentimes is everyone's against them and they've persevered despite, being wronged by this business partner and wronged by this spouse and shaded by their family and dropped by their friends, and they'll have a story for every single person, and yet they will never, ever, 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 ever see that they are the common denominator to all the dysfunction. You think that alone would tell them? You think that alone would tell them? I'm trying to help you, because if you're still teetering and in all of your New Year's trying to go through what am I going to bring forward, if you're still talking with them and you're still going to try, I'm here to let you know, the sooner you grasp the concept that they do not have the capability to learn. Think of them as somebody, and I say this respectfully, with special needs. I mean it. Somebody with special needs. In adulthood, in life, we've all known we've encountered somebody that has special needs, right? Some of those special needs in life can be a disorder of the brain or of, adapting social behaviors. We all know people, I think we maybe at this point have all know somebody on the spectrum. Those kinds of people have a capability. Sometimes there's a limit. I don't like to think of anybody that has a limit. I like to think of everyone's potential as through the roof. But try to think of the narcissist as somebody with special needs. They have a limit to their capability, a ceiling to their capability, and it's pretty low. It's nothing. They cannot learn past a certain point, which in their case is their dysfunctional childhood. So they're emotionally stunted toddlers with whom you are trying to reason, right? Emotionally stunted toddlers. That's not going to be somebody you're ever going to reach. And I really want to make sure it's clear, because as you go forward, when you're tempted and that phone rings and a lot of you are still answering and you're kicking yourselves, and I read a few comments over I'm kicking myself. I answered the hoop. Don't kick yourself. But going forward, that's what made me think of this video. But going forward, remind yourself, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what they say on the message, what they say if they come to your door, what they say in a text, an email, what they send to your door, flowers. I don't care. It's manipulation when they're trying to do that. It's not, oh, I learned, let me explain to you how things are going to be now, honey. I'm all better. That's never going to be what they're going to feel or say. They're going to manipulate their way back into you just to see if they can. That's the game for them. That is the game. And you should be aware of that, because I don't want you falling for it and thinking, oh, but he's coming around. He said this and he did that. No. They're playing. They're bored. And they want to see if they can still get you. It's very simple, but it's tough to grasp. And it took me a long time. I gave a lot of chances. I just wanted to mention it because once you wrap your brain around the fact that they're incapable, limited. Their minds are limited. Once you grasp that, maybe you'll be less likely to answer the Hoover when you see it come through. You'll look at the phone and go, nothing I say is going to get through to that person. I'm just going to let it ring. Nothing I say is going to affect anything going forward. I'm not going to take that visit. Nothing I say is ever going to teach them anything. I'm not meeting you for coffee. I just wanted you to give that a lot of thought. Going forward, it's something that if you grasp that right off the bat this year, it might help you a lot.